Questions?
We've heard you got a big game tomorrow.
Big game.
I'm sorry, in all seriousness, would you talk about the importance of this game to your program?
Well, it's important in terms of it's a great opportunity to play against a nationally ranked team, and we don't often have an opportunity to get BCS teams to come to Bowling Green. So it's a great opportunity to play against the best of the best and learn from it and realize that we won't play a team as talented as this in the MAC, and so this can only help us prepare for the upcoming MAC season. And it's a great opportunity in the last year of Anderson Arena to have a team like Vanderbilt in the arena, and for our crowd to see exactly how good basketball is around the country and how good some of the top teams in those power conferences can be. So we have nothing to lose. We're certainly the underdog, and we're not going to be taken lightly because of our success last year against them. But there's not a better coach. She's clearly one of the best coaches. Melanie Balcom is one of the best coaches in the country. So I look at it as an opportunity to get better myself, the chess match that goes on in the game with a coach like that. And we have ultimate respect for their program. So overall, it's a big game. It's a great game. But I don't feel like we have any pressure in this game.
Obviously, you pick them off. It fits pretty well into the body of work kind of thing in case you would stumble in the MAC tournament or something like that. Do you tell the kids that, or do you let them understand that that's so, or put it out there for them?
You know, we don't talk a lot about it, the specifics of the game in terms that way. I don't want to put added pressure onto them, and I don't want them to think right now about being an at-large team. I want them to think about getting better day in and day out, and what can we continue to work on? What are they going to exploit? Where can we hurt them? And the chess match that goes in to each and every game, and our preparation. And we'll let the wins and losses take care of itself. Obviously, ultimately, it would be a great opportunity to improve your body of work, win or lose if you play them well. But ultimately, the MAC has not had an at-large team for a long time, and so therefore you're playing to get better, and you're playing to improve, so you put yourself in position to win the MAC conference, the MAC regular season, the MAC tournament.
Are you viewing this as maybe a measuring stick of where your team is right now compared to obviously one of the top teams?
Certainly a measuring stick in terms of what they're going to exploit. And they have a lot of weapons. They have better team speed than the two teams had when we beat them. They have more of a post presence than they did last year because of injuries. And they're a fantastic shooting team. They're the big version of us, and they're the big conference version of us. They got a lot of kids that can make shots. They got a lot of. They're very well coached. They execute. They're very fundamental. So I look for it as a measuring stick in terms of what they're going to exploit on us, and what can we go back and work on and realize that we need to be better at in the grand scheme of things.
And then along with that, as far as without giving away your strategy, maybe what are the keys for your team to have success against Vanderbilt?
Well, last year, absolutely, without question, the key to the game was our start. And so you would think a key to this game is that we start strong, and we take care of any mustard seed of doubt in players' minds and coaches' minds that we can compete. So a quick start would be an important part of the game plan. We want to keep it close and allow our crowd to be a factor and to be a six-man and use that home court advantage. If you don't have a quick start or the game leaks away from you early, they also take the crowd away. And so I think that all factors into a quick start. We've got to be able to compete and try. We can't totally, but we got to try to match their physicality. We've got to try to be able to guard them without getting in foul trouble and make them make shots all night long. And then I think clearly one of the biggest concerns is you got to make them score in the half court. They are so fast and so good in transition, and just on Friday night put up 111 points. If you can't get them slowed down, you have no chance against them. In 2007, we won a game in the 50s. In 2009, we won a game against them in the mid-60s, and we held them to 60. And so we have to play at a tempo that we're comfortable with and can be successful.
Are there specific matchups to watch for?
Every matchup is in their advantage, kindly put. Have a great deal of respect for their point guard, Jency Rose. As a senior, we recruited. We have a great relationship with that family out of Western Pennsylvania. She's their engine. We've got to get her slowed down. They have 2 freshman wings who are both shooting the ball tremendously, but are lightning quick, which is their added dimension. That not only they put shooters on the floor, but now these 2 freshmen add an element of athleticism. We've got to contain them. But without question, the hard matchup is their size and their physicality. They can play 2 6'1" kids that are just warriors, absolute warriors, or they can play the redshirt freshman who's a 6'4" monster that we will have a hard time matching up with. And we're going to have to give them different looks and give help and try our best down on the low post against their physicality. But certainly, I don't think you look on paper and are excited about any matchup of the 5. But again, it's team basketball, and it's not individual basketball, and we'll try to keep them off balance.
How important is it that largely this same group of your kids beat this group last year? On the road, coming home, your crowd, I mean, they're not going to be afraid.
I don't think we'll back down, and that's what a good start would help, that you don't back down. We'll compete. We realize, you realize when you play a team as talented as this, is that the dream is to upset them. The dream is, to find a way to win. But you also realize on the other end that this team is good enough to beat you by 40. And so, you can't control everything. So you gotta go out there with a plan of executing, doing what you do. And at the end of the night, at the end of the 2 hours, you shake hands and hopefully you laid it all on the line, and the score takes care of itself. And win, loss, you're happy with the effort, and you tried, to execute the game plan that you had in place.
How did we get them to come here?
To Melanie, Coach Balcom's credit, they were willing to play home and home, and they were looking for home games. And so they were willing to return if we went there first. And it was a great opportunity. You don't get that opportunity often by perennial top 25 teams. This is not a good program. This is a great program. This is one of the historic programs in women's basketball. So you don't get that opportunity very often. And we took advantage of it and realized we had to go there in year 1. And then they were coming back here. So we're very, very fortunate.
Curt, yes, your girls know they have a chance because this is a team they've beaten, but in these David and Goliath matchups, you'd like Goliath to overlook David, and I think for what you've done against them twice now, it doesn't look like Goliath is going to overlook David, does it?
Absolutely. Well, they will not overlook us. I think we've earned respect from their program, that we're a quality program. But certainly this year we're the underdog. This team may be better than the team that was a number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament in 2007. I feel they got 6 players averaging over 9 points a game right now. They have a very deep roster, a very athletic roster, maybe the most athletic team they've put on the floor in years. And if they stay healthy, this is a team you're going to see continue to rise in the national rankings, and a team that can make a serious run in March, and will be a fun team to follow all year long.
And given the